Welcome to another episode of the Four Horsemen. This month we are doing the Big Air Bel Air. Big Air Bel Air. And the theme is post-apocalyptic. As you can see, I already drilled, tabbed, and installed 256 button head screws, but I got to thinking that maybe I should do a post-apocalyptic on the cheap, using only cheap stuff without opening the car. So that way, if this catches your attention, maybe you could try it without spending a lot of money. So let me put the tools together so we can begin. Okay, so I'm going to be using a file from the dollar store. Should only run you $1, but you should really have a set something like this. This is very old. I need to get a new one, but I'm going to stick to this. A Dremel with something like this should work perfectly, but I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to stick to the center punch. If you don't have an automatic center punch like this, maybe you have a hammer and a nail. That should do about the same thing. And the secret for today is glazing putty. This is Evercoat glazing putty. Not the same as the sun activated. They're just brands. So this one is Evercoat. This one is Bondo brand. Bondo brand also makes a glazing and spot putty. But this one, I think it was discontinued. So you could just apply this and just put it out in the sun. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's why I think it was discontinued. But let me show you how I'm going to do this. All right, first thing, I need to create some damage here. So let's make this like maybe some kind of beam fell on top. Take off some of that paint. Remember, post-apocalyptic is something it's not really being taken care of as to paint job. There are a lot of ways that you could do this. You can use 3D printed parts for like the windows and stuff like that, but again, we're going to keep this on the cheap. Let's make some damage over here. Create some damage on that push bar. Let's use that center punch without stabbing myself. Yeah, it's gonna jump and I'm gonna stab myself. So I'd rather not do it there. I'm gonna have to get a rag. There you go. some damage here on the roof, on the hood. Again, you can do a lot more damage with the Dremel. Be very careful when doing this. Let's put some damage here on that light bar. Jerry can over here. The bottom. The tires. Luckily with this model, the tires already look like they're dirty. Let me get the other item prepared. All right, so the reason I chose this is because most likely you're gonna have an auto part next, real close to you, and not an art store. And in reality, this is just a very thick primer. It just happens and be convenient that it looks like rust, same color. Let's see if I get that cap. So we have some of that. Make sure you wear a mask. You are in a well ventilated area. And this is acetone. Now the beauty about this is that it can be used for a lot of things. So let's say you have a 3D printer and you want to smooth out your prints. Voila! You can use it like this. And because it's mixed with acetone, it's a lot easier to work with. I have seen people airbrush this stuff right here. Now remember, that's kind of dangerous because you're dealing with acetone here, and acetone is going to evaporate. So this little stick is not working anymore. Gotta switch it over to a brush. Now another situation where you might have to use this is if you, let's say you cut up a car, you made it shorter, or you want to put two cars together and you want to erase that seam where the cars come together. Voila, this right here will do it. As you can see, I used a lot of acetone at the beginning. I'm looking for a thick consistency here. I can use the same brush to apply it, or I can use one of those spongy brushes from Home Depot. I think they're worth like $1. They sell them at the dollar store too. So like I was saying, I just recently posted a video about a two-door Toyota. That was actually a car that was 4-door. I cut it like 6 years ago. But back then, I was not as good with sanding and priming and all that stuff. So I redid it. And this is what I used to erase that seam. Like right here, it's good to be airbrushed. I want it a little bit thicker, so it doesn't run when I put it in the car. I think that did it right there. I just gotta make sure that everything is mixed together properly. Yeah, it's still a bit chunky at the bottom, but it really doesn't matter because we're dealing with a post-apocalyptic car here. Now, using the glazing putty, normally I think you have to wait like 30 minutes before you sand it. With this, if you're doing any of the other stuff, you also have to wait about 30 minutes. It dries a lot quicker because the acetone evaporates, but I still would leave it 30 minutes if you're gonna sand it. So now I'm just gonna get it all over the place. Make it look like rust, make it look like mud. Let's get inside that wheel well. Get that chassis too. So yeah, this really does the trick for 3D printed parts that are like big surfaces, and you can see those divisions. This works very nice. Now I wanted to go out and buy some kind of the good thing is it doesn't have a glass, so I could get inside without opening it. If you're dealing with a car that has a glass, you could just maybe break it. What was I saying? Oh, I don't know. I remember now. I don't remember. Make sure I get that bumper. You could leave it. You could leave some areas where you can see the metal. And again, if you're really going to get into this hobby, I suggest you getting proper tools. Getting proper tools will give you a better result when making custom. But if you just want to get started, I think this right here is going to be the easiest way. There it is. Oh, I got all this left. But now, I just gotta let it sit. For 30 minutes or so. You could add more damage. I want the original paint to, be able to see it a little bit more. Make sure I don't get any fingerprint. All right, so I'm gonna wait for it to dry and I'll be back. And there it is. It's been about 30 minutes. It's gonna need more time to get, you know, ready, but for the video purpose, it's pretty much done. And it only took about, what, only a few minutes to create this custom. And of course, if you go out and buy 3D printed parts for the windows and a bunch of stuff that you might be able to cut off from other cars, it would look better. But the purpose of this video, I want to do it was to do it on the cheap, using only very economic tools. And I think we achieved it without opening the car. So that's going to be it. Thank you for watching. Hope you like the tips on this video. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Until the next one.